Well, hello, there's news.
Colin, is that your
Yes.
opening line to me? Hello, there's news.
Well, not all the time, only when there's news.
Well,
Um,
now I'm on the edge of my seat, and I want to know what the news is.
uh, Highsmith, 4 years, $68 million.
Okay. Yes. Tell me about that. How do you feel about that?
I feel that he's being paid about the 12th or 15th highest edge rusher, and he's not breaking the bank. He's about the 12th or 15th best edge rusher. It fits, it works. The one thing that people will say, and here's the argument that people will use against it, is that it continues to try to fatten up one side of the ball and they're not paying enough attention to offense.
Oh,
But
they say that.
right, that's what people will say, that they keep paying and paying and paying on defense and they're not paying on offense.
Well, I mean, okay. So first of all, I know for a fact, without even knowing, you don't feel that way.
No, I don't. I like the signing. I think it fits, it's good.
Yeah.
It works out. You pay your best players at the time in which they need to be paid, and then you figure out the rest as it comes to you.
Right. So one of the things I like most about him is he has not missed a game. So I really like that. There's got to be value to that.
Right. He plays.
Because even when TJ Watt went down, I mean, we really suffered, right, as a team. I mean, we really didn't perform that well. And so I think Alex and TJ really complement each other well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, I mean, they both play balls out. And so, ultimately the numbers say there's a good potential of somebody getting hurt, but he plays through that, I think, pretty well. So I like that. I like the fact that he doesn't miss a game. The money doesn't bother me at all because I think it's only guaranteed for 2 years, right?
Right.
So I that money doesn't bother me at all. And so I really like it. That's an individual signing.
Okay.
Then you go back to the global conversation of, what people might not like is paying too much attention to the defensive side of the ball. There is no way in the world that anybody could ever pay too much attention to defense.
I kind of feel the same way, especially in a time in which the quarterback isn't making any money because his rookie contract.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous because that's how you build the team inside out, right? And so, I mean, if you can keep every team to 16 points, okay, you're going to win some football games. So I don't think you can ever pay too much attention to defense. Defense wins championships, they say. Chuck Noll said. But then you go back to the other side of the ball and you see how devalued the running backs are saying they are and how the pundits are writing about the running backs don't have the value that they used to have. And I disagree with that too. So,
but the running backs are all the same.
Contradictory argument. If somebody says to you, well, they're paying too much attention to defense, but yet we went out and we drafted and paid Najee, we drafted him our number one pick. How's that ignoring offense? How's it ignoring offense when you have 5 potential superstar receivers? Potential. If Deontay gets fixed, and maybe it's in his head, but if he's fixed, you have 5 potential superstars. You got a quarterback who was minutes away from a Heisman Trophy and just can play lights out. Took the team down the stretch to a 7-2 finishing record. The offensive tackle they drafted, the guy they got from Philadelphia is an animal and a beast. Come on, man. You can't argue that with me. You can't argue offense has been ignored, and you can't argue with me that too much attention is being paid on defense because that can never be. So there you go, Your Honor. I rest my case.
Yeah, well, so, okay, back to the running backs then. Do you think that they're devalued? Do you think that they have a case when they crow about all this? Because I've said all along, and you know my stance on this, that they're largely interchangeable.
You have said that, and I really don't like that you say that.
I know.
And I don't agree with it. And I don't agree with it because
I know that you don't, but there seems like there's a lot of people who do agree with this.
yes, because they're saying they're getting caught up in this quarterback hype, right? So they build it around, and they say, well, the receivers now are much more important because you can't really touch a receiver. You can't hit him in the head. You can't hit him below. You can't hit him anywhere. And so it elevates what the wide receiver ranks look like. And then you put a good quarterback and you just throw the ball. I'm sorry. That doesn't win long term to me. It doesn't win long term to me because all that has to happen there is one guy gets hurt, and that's your franchise quarterback. And if that guy gets hurt, now you're going to be crippled everywhere. So build the team. First of all, I love Omar Khan's choices. Of course, I love Omar Khan. You know that. But I love his choices. I love how he's building this team. He's building it with a little bit of old school and a little bit of the new NFL. And he's focused on quarterback and receivers. I think he's got peripheral vision all the way around. And I think that I am telling you the Pittsburgh Steelers will win the division.
Huh. Well, before I get to that, real quick, running backs are becoming kickers or punters in terms of how much you can just cycle through.
That's ridiculous.
I just wanted to get a rise out of you.
Well, you did. You got it.
Yes, I know. But in terms of winning the division, man, that's a long bridge to cross from last year at 9-8 to win the division.
Listen, and you know what? When Ken Wisenhunt won the division in Arizona, the record didn't matter because he was the best record, but it wasn't a great record. It wasn't even it was like 7-9.
Right, the AFC West was bad, right?
Yeah, he was like 7-9. He won a division. He didn't go into the locker room and say, "Congratulations, guys, you won a division. And by the way, you suck because your record was 7-9." He didn't do that. He said, "Congratulations for winning the division," which is so. I don't know what their record will be. So I'm not gonna get pinned to that again.
All right, let's go ahead and do. You remember when you were little? Well, it might not have had them when you were little.
You're feeling pretty frisky.
Do you remember when they had those connected dots and say like 1, 2, 3, and then you do all the dots, and then it would have a picture of a fire truck or whatever?
Yeah, we used hieroglyphics back then.
Yes, right. I remember your first car. You used to have to crank the front of it. But anyway. Let's connect the dots then. If you're connecting dots that it starts here and you draw it all the way around and it comes up with a pretty picture of the Pittsburgh Steelers being division champions.
Yes, sir.
You would, and I know then you are working under the assumption, I'm assuming, that Kenny Pickett will even have to play better than he did the last 5 or 6 games at the end of last year. His play will have to spike and be elevated. And he'll have to be one of the best 2 quarterbacks in the AFC North, right?
I believe he will win. They will win. I mean, whatever. I'll agree to anything, but I'm telling you, the statement is they will win the division.
Well, how do you win the division then without one of the best 2 quarterbacks in the division?
Their team is going to be super strong.
Okay.
Najee is going to be a beast. Okay, he is a beast. He will be a beast. He will not be hurt. He will play at a top high level because this will be the first time. I mean, look at his touches. His run or average run or yard per carry might not have been great, but look at his touches. He's like 681 or some crazy number of touches. He's our workhorse, right? And if we have him and we have the other running back, I forget his name.
Jaylen Warren.
Yes, I forget his name. He's interchangeable.
Well, he is.
No, he's not. Well, actually, I would have signed another badass running back if I were the Steelers. I'd have 2 of them. There's 3 of them that are going to take, like Saquon, I probably would take him. Now, imagine that as a 1-2 punch. But yes, right. So if Kenny Pickett he wasn't the starting quarterback for the first half of the year, right? And so I think they did that right. He comes in, he's going to have a natural improvement just being in year 2. Everything I hear about Kenny Pickett talks about his work ethic, everything.
Right.
And that to me that's all of it. That's all of it. He's got the talent. He can throw the football. We see that, right? We can see that. He did it. And his presence as a leader on the team, I am hearing inside the locker room, Kenny Pickett is a leader of this team.
That is true. But it's all going to depend on how he plays on Sundays. I can't see a way, and I'm not saying this isn't going to happen. In order for them to win the division, he's got to be better than. He's got to be better than.
He will be.
Burrow. He's got to be better than two of these three guys. Burrow, Jackson.
Oh, come on. Or Jackson. Why would he even get hired? I don't even know who gave him a contract. He's off.
Or Deshaun Watson. He's got to be better than two of three of those guys.
And think about this. Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's going to be better than Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
Because first of all, you can't do it with just a good quarterback, right? So Deshaun Watson,
quarterback
in the world.
You can't do it with just a good quarterback, but you better have a good quarterback to start.
Well, that's a good point. That's fair. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But it doesn't come down to quarterback versus quarterback. It does at the end, because then they'll say, well, this quarterback did this and that. But I'm telling you, yes, better than Deshaun Watson if we're going to use your measurement.
All right, there's one.
Okay. Better than Joe Burrow. Why better than Joe Burrow? I'm going to tell you something. Joe Burrow's attitude, his cockiness, to me, is so offensive. I'll tell you one thing Kenny Pickett won't do. He won't wear a zebra shirt or a zebra suit to a playoff game. Okay. He won't do that.
Well, because the Steelers aren't the Bengals. That's not their insignia.
Yeah. What's the insignia? Joe, look at me. Cool. Come on. Stop it.
He did turn overnight. I'll tell you, you picked up on that from going from the 2 weeks between the AFC Championship and the Super Bowl. Turned Joe Burrow from somebody who was scared of his own shadow to Joe Namath in 2 weeks.
He was awful. It was awful. I hate to watch that metamorphosis. But okay, so yeah, and Lamar Jackson, man, I don't know who values and grades these players, but look, the guy can run. He can run. I question his passing ability and his ability to win games. I just do. So Kenny Pickett, all he has to do is not lose. That's all he has to do. Remember what they told Ben Roethlisberger?
Yeah.
They had a system. They plugged him in. Just don't lose the game for us.
So Kenny Pickett just needs to be a souped-up game manager.
I think they could still win that way, yes. But he will not just be that. He has franchise potential. He has superstar potential. You'll see.
I'm not doubting. I'm just –
well, it sure sounds like you're doubting me.
No. I am just trying to figure out your roadmap to get there, because that's a bold statement saying they're going to win a division, and I just think certain things need to be in place in order for them to win the division, and one of them is I can't see a division in football that you can win without having one of the two best quarterbacks in the division. So but
it's like the chicken or the egg. What came first? You win games. Ben Roethlisberger, when he was in his infancy, he wasn't the best quarterback, right?
He came out and he ripped 15 straight wins or whatever, though.
Yes, he was the quarterback. But did he individually account for those?
Well, you make a good point. They had a running back that was a Hall of Famer. They had Hines Ward, the best blocking receiver ever. They had a darn good offensive line. Yep. And if we do remember back to those days, Faneca vocally and other people not as vocally, they didn't really like Ben all that much.
No.
They just existed with him in those days.
Yep. And so, but he still won football games.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so that's my point. And it's not a derogatory point to Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett will be everything that you all think he will be. He will be that, but he doesn't have to be that. So he doesn't have to be one of the top two quarterbacks. Doesn't have to be. He just needs to be better than in that particular moment. And he needs to not lose the game. Now, that makes him great. What really elevates him then is if he does become one of the top two quarterbacks, then he's really something. And he can be both. He can win. We can win football games. And that's why I love the way Omar Khan structured this team. He structured it to be successful. He structured it to be able to run the ball, to protect the quarterback, to be able to catch the passes, to be able to run the ball, to be able to have edge rushers like T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith, to be able to have safety like who's the guy we just brought in?
Patrick Peterson.
Yeah. Yes, we structured it that way. This game starts with people. Okay. And we have the people, we have the personnel, we have the staff. Mike Tomlin, to me, still one of the greatest coaches you'll ever see, ever. One of the greatest motivators ever. And then a supporting cast. So, I mean, this is our year. I don't think this is a growth year. I think this is our year.
Well, it better be. Like, at some time, it needs to be. You know, you can't keep trying to climb the mountain and climb the mountain and climb the mountain. At some point, you got to get there.
We're there. We're there.
All right.
Okay.
Well, the quarterback better be one of the two best in the division.
You just had to end on that, didn't you?
Well, no, you can't have a below the line quarterback. Meaning,
no, but that's very different. A below the line quarterback is very different than insisting you can't win a division unless you have a top 2 quarterback.
There's only 4 quarterbacks in it. So if you're third, you're below the line in a division. I'm not relenting. I am not relenting. You've got to be one of the top 2 quarterbacks in this division to win the division.
You have to measure that. What does that mean? Win and loss? Wins and losses?
Turnovers versus touchdowns.
Yes.
In all that stuff. Points per game, yards per game, passing yards per game. Not necessarily passing yards per game because they won't throw it as much.
Do you agree that we have a system here and we have a structure now that we have a quarterback? If Ben Roethlisberger was back in his rookie year, second year, right now, plugged him into this team, what would you expect?
He'd be the second best quarterback in the division behind
Okay.
Burrow.
All right, then here. Okay, I'll relent. Kenny Pickett will be the number 1 or number 2 quarterback in the league.
Okay. See? Why? You're always so direct. Why did it take you so long to just say it?
Oh, because I can't give in to you. You make me crazy.
But you stuck to your guns, and you finally came out and said
I relented.
it. No, you said first or second, which is what he has to be.
What I really think.
What do you really think?
I think first or second. That's it. Done. Show's over. I'm done.
You're so mad. Why are you so angry? You're an angry man.
I am an angry man. I don't understand it. And I'm angry because you don't have a Ford hat on.
Listen, I have my Ford Performance hat. I was running around. I didn't grab it.
And I'm mad at Chelsea for not sending you more hats.
I'm going to stop at Wexford and get a Ford Performance hat.
Wait, can you get him, please? Ford Performance hats, plural.
Plural. The Ford Performance Driving School are the ones that I like.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, I love that. I'd like to do that, actually.
There's a new commercial out for the Ford Performance Driving School.
I have not seen it.
Yes. Now, question before we go, and I know you don't like the car question. I'm talking about a closed track or whatever. What's the fastest you've ever been in a vehicle, either riding or driving, on like a closed track? Have you ever been on one of those things?
No, I've never been on a closed track, but I've done 140.
In that GT?
No, I've never driven the GT. No, I actually did it in a Ferrari.
140.
Yeah, I did 140 on the
on a road?
Yeah, I think it was the 405 freeway.
That was back in your bad decision Southern California days.
I'm still making bad decisions.
You just don't live in Southern California.
Thank God for that.
Oh, good. 140?
Yeah, 140. You know, once upon a time, I was a Dodge dealer also. And if you remember the Dodge Vipers.
Yeah. But the back ends come out from them.
They were really squirrely. And at the time, Ben and I were kind of friendly. You know, we played golf together. We knew each other. He bought some vehicles here, and he really wanted to drive the Viper. I think he took, and I'm trying to remember what on-ramp, but I forget where he took it. And I think he hit 140 in that thing on, coming out of the turn onto the ramp. I don't remember where it was, but I think he told me that it was either 120 or 140, but he took that Viper. Yeah, Ben likes cars.
I have just heard stories about those Vipers that people get on it and the back end just comes all the way around.
Yeah, there's nothing in the back. There's nothing back there. No back end.
Jeez, man.
Okay.
Well,
all right. Are we done?
We're done. Have a good week.